You know, this Cleveland Cavaliers team is filled to the brim with talented individuals, with every single player bringing something a little different to the table. It's honestly one of the deepest teams in all of the NBA. Now, obviously, the headliners, your Darius Garlands, your Donovan Mitchells, your Evan Mobleys, your Jarrett Allens, can sometimes overshadow a talented cast of reserves that head coach Kenny Atkinson has at his disposal. So it's pretty easy to overlook one of the most underrated players on this Cavs team, who just so happens to be one of, if not the best perimeter defender on the entire roster, and that, my friends, is Isaac Okoro. The fifth-year vet is honestly what many people would consider a lockdown defender on the outside. At 6'5", he may not be what fans consider a traditional or prototypical sized wing, but he more often than not makes up for it by playing above his listed height. But before we do a deep dive into just how effective he has been at deterring his opponents, do your boy a favor and smash that like button, subscribe to keep the Cavs coverage coming, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on a beat. Alrighty, let's dive in. Okoro is one of the league's most defensively versatile wings, often taking on the opposition's toughest perimeter assignment or matchups who have a substantial height advantage over him. This is something that tends to be showcased both on the court and with some advanced metrics. This season, he has spent time defending 1 through 5 with a pretty even split between 1 through 3 at about 25% each. And like I mentioned, he often plays up a position defensively, and that has resulted in him matching up with power forwards about 18% of the time and centers, believe it or not, about 9% of the time. This speaks volume about his versatility in this regard, and to further expand upon that, the Auburn product is currently rated within the 89th percentile in defensive positional versatility, ranking 58th out of 533 qualifying players this season and receiving an A- grade in this category per B-Ball Index. Much of his impact tends to come as a point of attack defender, which is exactly how B-Ball Index categorizes his defensive role this year. His perimeter isolation defense has been suffocating up to this point. This has led to him being within the 81st percentile in that area. He doesn't have the longest wingspan, being measured at just 6'8", but he is built very solidly and isn't the easiest to move around when taking on taller, beefier wings or bigs, and is agile enough to keep up with smaller, quicker guards. His screen navigation has likewise been very good, like 83rd percentile type good. This is honestly something that has been on point for a number of Cavaliers. He has often anticipated them, use his body to fight through the contact, and almost always seems to have a good feel for when to go over or under the screen depending upon whatever the situation requires. Okoro's lateral movement and quickness have helped him navigate even the toughest of picks. He has been at his best this season when defending guards, whom he has held to a combined 51 of 122, or rather 41.8% from the field. These are his top 5 matchups so far. But that doesn't truly do his work justice, and these skills have been on full display against a number of high quality, difficult, and talented offensive threats, but one that always tends to stand out to me is his work against the New York Knicks star Jalen Brunson, an assignment that he is very familiar with. Over the course of 16 career matchups, both regular season and postseason combined, Okoro has managed to limit Brunson to 22 of 57, or rather 38.6% from the field. And it's come in all areas of the court, whether it be from the 3-point distance, the mid-range, or within the restricted area. Okoro has made life really difficult on Jalen Brunson, to the point, honestly, where I am very comfortable with Isaac playing a solid amount of minutes with the sole purpose of taking Brunson out of the equation. Notice how often he remains attached to his hip and offers a contest without fouling. You can see how well he pivots, is able to turn his hips and kind of funnel Brunson into the bigs down low or into an unfavorable attempt with his presence. His hands are always active, whether the purpose be to block the shot attempt or to disrupt the passing lanes. And this is by no means an easy task given how crafty Brunson is with the ball in his hands, using a variety of shot and head fakes to catch the defender off guard. Okoro never leaves his feet, has some of the best recovery skills on the team, and can make the play even when seemingly taken off the dribble. Brunson is a phenomenal offensive talent who will no doubt see multiple defenders throw it at him in any given game, but it's a very calming thought to know that you have one of his toughest challenges to overcome in the likes of Isaac Okoro at your disposal if you are Kenny Atkinson and company. With tonight's matchup with the Knicks due to be the latest in this budding rivalry between these two teams, here's to hoping that Isaac Okoro shuts his water off once again. As always, go Cavs.
Brunson picks it up, forced it up.